Look at a lady called Sue. Today we're looking at Sue because she has a relationship with her clients, but she's working so hard and would like to work smarter rather than harder. So we're going to have a look at Sue and go through that story to illustrate why it's important to have a good customer relationship database really in place to help you manage your business. We're then going to look at what is a CRM. What is this CRM, this magical acronym that we've heard of? So don't worry, just keep it out of your mind at the moment. After the story of Sue, you'll kind of gather what it is, but I will go into it in some more detail after I've covered that story. We'll look at what information do you need to create a CRM, and then also look at what options are available on the market. And then we'll close with a summary of the benefits of a CRM system. So there will be a lot of information covered as always. You may feel like there's a lot to take in, but of course I will summarize it all at the end as I always do. So stay with me for the duration of the training. So let me tell you this story. As I said, it may seem like a long story and you might have no idea why I'm telling you about this lady called Sue, but it all relates to customer relationship management databases. So let me go into tell you about Sue. Here she is. Sue is very, very busy. She works so hard. She's working every single hour that God sends, yet her sales figures are not really justifying the amount of time that she's putting into her working day. Let me give you an example of Sue's working day. She books herself onto a networking event. It's a breakfast networking event. She attends and she takes business cards, about 20 business cards in total, and she leaves. And when she gets back to the office at 9:30, she writes on the business cards where she met the person. She's very good. She knows the value of good networking and to write down relevant, important information. She's a good businesswoman, and she really does acknowledge that it's important to keep in touch with people. She set some time aside, and she's going to send some personalized emails for each and every contact that she met at the networking event. She goes through the business cards, writing all the details on them, and then she looks at it and she thinks, right, okay, this one looks familiar. I'm sure I've seen this business card somewhere before. She has a little look in her Rolodex and she thinks, right, it's not in there. Where can that be? Then she goes through a prospects list because she's got another clump of cards entitled prospects. Goes through that. Nope, they're not in there. She has another pile of business cards for ex-clients, so people that were her clients but are no longer for one reason or another, just at the moment. Then she goes to a work in progress file. It must be in there somewhere. She's sure it's in there. There it is. There's the business card. She is actually quoting this customer for a bit of business, but she's working with a different contact. Now she knows what that company is and what she's doing with them. Great. She's so glad she didn't send a welcome email and just said, you know, great to meet you. Let's do some business, because she's already working with that company. Phew, thank heavens that she did that and she went through all those business cards. She did know. She's got a great memory and she knew the card was in there somewhere. But you know what? That took her half an hour to do that. And now she has to repeat it for each and every business card. So she's got another 2 business cards here. They look very similar. Obviously, the ones on the screen are, just for illustration purposes. But she has to repeat that exercise again. Another 60 minutes has passed this time. Good heavens above, just looking for information for 3 business cards. Next, she creates 3 emails. She wants to send them a hello email. One for people she's never met before, one for people she's met before, and one for people who she's currently pursuing business. So she copies each email a few times and she saves them in her draft box. She knows how to do that in Outlook. And then she goes into each email, taking the first business card from the pile. She types in the email address and then adds the contact name. Then she flicks through the Rolodex and the filing system and the pack of cards and the work in progress box, and she gathers all the information that she needs to personalize each email. So she's created the email template, she's saved it, she's copied it a few times, she's gone into each one, she's inserted the email address, she's inserted the name, and then having gone through each of these business card files again, she gets the detail of where she met them before, and she gets the detail of who she's currently working with that company, all the critical information that you need to really personalize emails to make it really important. But you know what? It's taken her hours. That's nearly half a day gone. So she started Hoppers Nights, now Hoppers One, just to send some personalized emails to some contacts at a networking event. It makes you not want to go to a networking event, doesn't it? And all those business cards that were sitting there, you know, have they all been dealt with? Is she really pursuing all of that business? Can she pursue all of that business with it all in different piles? Probably unlikely. So now she has to deal, she's done that, she's done a networking event, she has to deal with her email inquiries. Great, she gets on, she starts having a look at her emails. Fantastic, she's got a new contact. She takes a piece of card and she logs the contact details on the card. She answers the inquiry via email and then she files that piece of card in her Rolodex. Fantastic, great filing system again. Wonderful, everything's in its place. She has to do that for each and every client, don't forget. All the new inquiries that have come in. Has she got that contact before? Has she ever dealt with them before? She has to go through all the filing, all the business cards, all the different files and find out again, has she met this person? Is she already pursuing business with them? Has she already got the contact details for them? And if not, she's got to recreate the contact details on a piece of card. You can see how time consuming this can be. Great, she's finished her day, and now she gets a phone call from her marketing contact. They call and say, we've got a great offer, there's 20% off electronic marketing. So we're going to send a leaflet to all of your clients electronically, personalized email, and there's 20% off. Just for today. She thinks, fantastic, she's got to take this offer, 20% off, she's so excited. So all they need from her now is the name of her contacts and an email address. No problem, she thinks. Oh my gosh. So she has to again go through all her files, the prospects file, the ex-clients, the work in progress, the Rolodex, and then decide which one of those contacts she's going to send an email to. She then creates a spreadsheet, puts their name in the spreadsheet and the email address, and then sends that to the marketing company. One day later, she's finished that task. Whew. It's taken her a whole day to complete. Then she gets a phone call. We've got a great offer again from the marketing company. 20% off, a mail-out leaflet this time. Ah, okay, great offer again. She really wants to pursue this. But she has to go through the files again, all through the business cards, create another spreadsheet because this time it's different information that she needs. She needs the name, but this time she needs the postal address as well. Ah, why didn't she think of that yesterday when she was going through the cards for the email address? No wonder Sue is exhausted. No wonder that she's working harder and not seeing many returns on her efforts. She's exhausted, poor thing. There's just not enough hours in the day to keep going through that manual process of looking through business cards, trying to remember all that information, jam-packing her memory when she could be working on dealing with clients, really understanding their needs and wants. I wish somebody could tell her about a CRM database. Ah, look, there's this wonderfully organized lady who's telling Sue that she needs to get a CRM database. But what is a CRM database? All it is just an electronic way of storing all your information on your target audience or your clients. That's all it is, just getting all that information and storing it in one place. Simple as that. So CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management, and obviously the database is the place that you store it. You input the data once and you use it many times over. That's the beauty of it. So never again do you have to go through all these business cards in various different places. You just go through, put the information in once, and then that's it. You've got it there, time efficient. So what are the benefits of using a CRM database? As I said, all the information is in one place. Fantastic. Quick and easy to search through your information, so you can search on anything, geographics, the gender of your target audience. You can work on whether they bought things from you before, when their policies are up for renewal, for example. You can search on anything at all. You can log conversions, so who inquired, and then who bought, and then see how efficient you are at converting inquiries. You can link your CRM to your account system so that your invoices can be done, your receipts can be done, the information is all there for your accountant at a touch of a button. Basically, you've got facts and figures at your fingertips. Your sales, how much you've achieved to date, will be there for you to do a quick search on. You'll be able to see how much you sold today, how much you sold this month, how much you sold this year. You'll be able to see how that compares to your target for the year. That information will all be at your fingertips. And of course, you can use that information for your email campaigns or your marketing campaigns. It's the same information again, you just extract it from your database and then put it into whatever format you need for your marketing company, or if you're doing your email campaigns yourself. You can really target your marketing material, and that's when it becomes powerful. That's when the CRM really comes into place, your customer relationship management. If you're managing your customers effectively, then you're going to see a return on your investment of time with them, and also return in regards to sales figures that you're going to get back. If you are actually, say you're selling shampoo, and you know that your particular target audience has dandruff, but they also have bought from you a hair color, then you know that you want to sell them the dandruff shampoo that goes with colored hair. So you can be really specific and really tailor your material when you've got the information. Without the information, you're just whistling in the wind. So as I said, it really is a great place for you to store useful information. You'll be able to tell who's your best client, what's the best selling product that you've got, who hasn't purchased in a while. You'll be able, as I said, to, say you are selling shampoo, you'll be able to sell shampoo and then sell hair dye. You'll be able to sell combs, you'll be able to sell, if somebody's bald, they won't be buying shampoo from you, and they certainly won't need a hairdryer. You'll be able to tell all that by collating information and then really understanding who your target audience is, and then selling and speaking for them and them specifically. Really tailoring your message, and then if they trust you and they know that you understand their needs, they will buy X as well as Y. Simple. Makes it really easy for you to sell more. You'll be able to understand who inquired but hasn't bought from you, rather than just thinking, I've had a lot of inquiries but nobody's bought. You'll be able to understand why they haven't bought, and then get back in touch with them and find out specifically what you can do to help them buy in the future. Also, the thing about marketing is you could spend an awful lot of money just throwing money at marketing, and not realizing whether it's going to hit the right people or not. They say that 50% of marketing costs are wasted, but which 50% we don't know. It's all about measuring the effectiveness of your marketing. And with CRM, you can do that. So here it is. We are in the information age. If you look at your inbox, I bet you're bombarded with emails. I know that I sent a few today already. Then you've got your mail coming through your letterbox. And then you've got your invites to different events. There's so many things that are coming through and coming at you at such a fast speed that we can't take it all in. And the customer is king. We have to appreciate that. They are generally, most people are these days, time poor. And so if your information, if your message doesn't hit them right between the eye, then you've got no chance of getting them as a client. And so again, the importance of customer relationship management, CRM, is about really understanding your target audience, understand when he and she bought from you, understand their needs inside and out. And you can't do that going through a manual filing system, looking at each card, trying to pull on the information from your mind. Well, you probably can, but you'll go nuts. and you won't do it as efficiently or effectively as you can with a CRM database. So imagine you're sending this customer is king, dear Joe Bloggs, here's 20 products you may be interested in. Or you send them, dear Mr. King, you bought X from us in 2010, so you may be running out. Would you like some more? How fantastic is that? He's going to think that you are so caring that he's just going to want to stay with you. Customer loyalty is so important in this day and age. It's so much easier, so much cheaper to keep a client than to get a new one. So if you're attentive to their needs, they're going to love you and want to stay with you. Your life's easier, their life's easier, everybody wins. So as a small business owner, I absolutely understand that you are time poor. I know that you are. You know, you're trying to do everything, aren't you? You're trying to sell, market your product and service, do the admin, do the finance, and you might be thinking, well, you know, this system works for me at the moment, this manual system of going through all the files, going through my Rolodex, it works for me. I haven't got a huge amount of clients, but, you know, do you want to place more for the rest of your life? And it may work now, but now is the time to get it right so that you can expand. I'm sure you want more than you've got now. I know that you do. And so now is a great time, whilst you have got a manageable amount of clients, to dedicate your time to creating an effective CRM database. CRM is not a waste of time. You may think it is, but it isn't, I can assure you. I mean, look at this again. You've got your Rolodex, you've got your work in progress files, you've got business cards coming out of your ears. Are you really effectively dealing with all of those contacts? Don't worry about going out getting more contacts. If you're not dealing with these effectively, then you can forget it. You've got to deal with the contacts that you've already got. Deal with them well. Find out who are, qualify your prospects. That means understand whether there is a need for your product or service. Don't go rushing out to get billions or more business cards because it might dry up. You know, the universe doesn't work that way. There is an abundance of customers for you, but you've got to deal with them properly and give them the respect that they need. So go through each card properly and make sure that, yes, I have done all that I can to understand whether this person has a requirement from a product or service, or if they'll ever have one in the future. And I understand exactly their needs and wants so that I can best fulfill their needs when that time happens. So steps to creating a CRM. Please don't go out and buy a CRM. Please hold on. Don't go rushing out the door thinking, right, I need a CRM. Leanne said I need one, and CRM database, I'm just going to buy one. Don't do that. I really would advise you to just stop. And the really important thing before you go out and buy one is to understand, what do you want it to do? What information do you want it to store? And how are you going to use it going forward? So here's some questions I want you to ask yourself. And this is going to take you probably 1 to 2 days, so you're going to have to schedule this in your diary if you're serious about creating a CRM and really converting more prospects into clients. So before you go out and rush and get a CRM, sit down and write, what information do you currently store on your existing contacts? What information is useful and what isn't? Ask yourself, why are you storing this information? Why do you need it? What are you going to do with it? What could you use information for in the future? So you may have an abundance of information when you've met people at a networking event that you haven't written down, such as, they're going on holiday with their family, or their daughter's just about to go to university. Well, that's great information that you need to be storing somewhere, because it may help you in the future to really understand your target audience, understand what matters to them, and talk their language. So it may not seem that it's important at the time, but get every bit of information down if you can. But don't clog the CRM up with useless information. Understand what you're going to do with it. So understand at the moment in time, with all your contacts that you've got, what information are you currently missing? For example, where did you hear of us? Or have you got a place to store their testimonials, for example? So what are you missing? What else could you be storing that you're currently not? What else do you have to keep searching through your files for because you remember hearing something or doing something related to them? Are you missing their website details, for example? What are you missing? And then you've got to link your information together in your business. So marketing or sales are not standalone functions. They have to work within the organization as a whole. So look at your processes and really understand how your business works. So what happens when somebody makes an inquiry? What information do you take? What do you do then as a step-by-step process? Do you make a phone call? Do you send an email? What do you do? And in which case you may think, well, I'm going to need their address here, or I'm going to need their email address there, or I'm definitely going to need their first name or their last name. Look at your order fulfillment. So when somebody actually does buy from you, what happens then? What do you do with that information? How do you fulfill that order? So for example, when I was in the automotive industry, we sell technical reports. If an order was fulfilled, then we would have to print a purchase order number for them, send an invoice to them, get the packaging correct via the postal service for them, get the report sent out to them, log that they bought that report so we knew for future reference who bought it just because there was an update to that report, for example. So what happens when you fulfill an order? Renewals, what happens then? What information do you need? Where do you store that information currently? If you've got ex-customers, why are you keeping their information? Are you going to do something with them in the future, or are you just going to, if you're not, just bin the information? But I would advise you, if they bought from you before, they're more than likely to buy from you again. You just have to understand why they're not buying at the moment. How do you link in with your finance department? For example, as I said, you can create invoices with your CRM systems. You can create receipts. You can do all sorts of things. You can give the information to your accountant. And then look at what marketing campaigns you're likely to produce in the future. Are they likely to be online? Are they going to be postal campaigns? What are they, and what information are you likely to need in the future? And then look at your email system. Again, can the two link together? How can you incorporate the two so that you're not keeping contact details in various different places? One place for all is fantastic. Yes, you can export them out of your CRM into your email system, but don't go creating duplicates, because we had this, in the automotive industry again, where we had email addresses on the email system, the remote email system. We had email addresses on the Outlook. We had an email on the CRM. Well, which one's correct? And then we've got a 1 in 3 chance of not getting that information to somebody. So if you keep it in one place, then you just got one place to update. It makes it a lot easier and slicker for yourself. So have a look at where you waste your time. So what are you doing where you're duplicating information? For example, are you storing email addresses in various different places? Are you looking for information, looking through files, trying to remember the last time when you met a client? What did you discuss last time? What kind of information are you looking for that is wasting your time currently? And then what information could you use to personalize your email campaigns, your marketing campaigns, your Christmas cards, etc.? What could you use at the touch of your button that would really help make your systems, your processes so much quicker, make you work smarter rather than harder? Please remember that a CRM database, you could spend an absolute fortune on a CRM database, but it is only as good as the information you put in it. So you really have to be sure that you know what you're putting in is going to be relevant. Garbage in, garbage out, that's how it works. You've got to keep it up to date. Let's look at Amazon very quickly. A fantastic example of a CRM database. I mean, if you want to see how CRM, customer relationship management, works, then visit Amazon. It's absolutely fantastic. And if you look on this screen here, I've logged in, Mrs. L. Flower at the top, and then you see it says from my wish list. Well, I haven't actually created a wish list, but they've seen what I've bought in the past. Now, I absolutely love the dummy book, and you can see that they've suggested public relations and writing copy, because those have been my main interests for the last few months. I also bought a Zumba workout CD, DVD, and so they've suggested that there's some Zumba things that I might be interested in, and some other things coming soon. Isn't that amazing? So I've just logged in, and I could instantly just buy, thinking, thank you, Amazon, you really understand my needs. And they've got a wish list as well and a gift list, so you could put in things like you bought a present for your cousin, or your nephew rather, so you bought your nephew a train, and then Amazon says, oh, you bought your nephew a train last year. Well, you may be interested to know that the train's been updated. Would he like this? And so it's really, really helpful. It's like your own personal shopper. Now that is CRM working at its very, very best. And I know you haven't got the resources to plow into this. This is a whole, department dedicated to this. But you can see how powerful it can be when you get it right. So let's have a look at what CRM solutions are available for you. We're just going to look at a few. I'm not going to go into any detail, but I just want you to be aware that once you've spent your 1 to 2 days understanding what information you need and collating that information, because it's going to take you time to get this information together, then and only then should you explore getting the CRM database. So I use Microsoft Access because I consider myself to be pretty much an expert in that field. I've used it for many years. Really, really suits me well. But equally, you can use an Excel spreadsheet. At the very, very least, I would absolutely advocate that you start working with Excel. So just have a spreadsheet with the name, address, other contact details, information of when they bought from you, anything that you can store in columns on particular clients. Just get it in one place, because the great thing about Excel is that you can export it to different applications like Outlook, like online email marketing software, for example. The same with Access. You can export as CSV files. Don't worry about what that is, but it just means that it's transferable to other applications. So here's mine. This is my Eureka database reception area. This is the company I started at the very beginning before Like-Minded Women. So I click on the contact form. It comes up with a contact form, which is obviously populated with my information. It's not fully populated. I haven't got my address, obviously, because I don't need that. And then when I click on the Add Payment button, I can then see, well, what service have I bought? Well, it's networking. And what's the description of the event? How much did I pay, for example? And then all that then links to the receipts and into the invoices. And then it tells me instantly of which events have been popular and how much money I've generated. There's other functionalities, but I'm just showing you an example of how simple a CRM database can be and how effective it can be at the same time. So you can also buy an off-the-shelf solution, and I'll just go through a few of the most popular ones with you now. First one is Salesforce.com. This is incredibly popular. I haven't actually bought it, but I would if I didn't have access. Incredibly cheap. If you click on these, if you go to the slides, I'm going to upload it to the forum tomorrow probably, and then you'll be able to get the link that's on the slide and then view the video that it has to tell you how Salesforce works and why you should use it. So it says here, no software, no installs, no headaches, just focus on things that matter, like growing your business. It links with Outlook, just a very quick and easy solution, and it grows with your business. So here's the price for it. So you've got $5 a month for a small business owner like yourselves. So that's all it costs, $5. Nothing really, and they are so great. I don't work for them, I'm not getting any commission from them, but I have trialed their service and they are incredibly helpful. They spend a lot of time with you, going through it, setting it up with you. And then as your company grows, then you just increase how much you pay per month. So up to 5 users is just $5 per user per month, and then obviously you can get more functionality and pay a little bit more for that as it goes. And then we've got Sage Act, which again is very popular. And if you want that, one of our ladies, Like-Minded Women members, can give you a discount to that and training. And that starts from £190, so it's a one-off fee, and it'll store the information for you. I don't believe it's as slick as Salesforce.com, but it is certainly effective. And if you just want to know where you are, you pay the one-off fee, then that might be the solution for you. And again, I said, we can get you training from one of our members. And then other information in the marketplace is Infusionsoft. Fantastic, but that's quite expensive. That works out about £40 per month, but not expensive in terms of return you'll get on your sales when you're a bigger company or you're generating that kind of revenue. We've got Sales Nexus, InTouch CRM, Essential IPIM, Work, etc., Relenta, Playbook IQ, Oprius. Those are the main ones. Those are the big names in CRM solutions. So have a little look at those, have a play with them. Really at this stage I would just say just get your house in order and get your information together, and then, as I say, and only then, look to buy a CRM database. You can also use email campaign software solutions to help you store your information. So if you don't want to stick it in a spreadsheet, at the very least you can collate your contact information in your email campaign software solution. So you know that I use Constant Contact. I love Constant Contact. You can store everything in there, such as first name, surname, company name. You can have maybe, I think there's another 20 files, 20 cells where you can store information that's relevant to you. So for example, if they're a client and when their policy is up for renewal, or if they bought from you before, when was the last time they bought from you, for example. You can store all sorts of information with your email campaign. So again, at the very least, it's a very simple solution to quickly send information to multiple people and personalize at the same time. And key names in the marketplace, I mean, there is absolutely, the marketplace is littered with email campaign software. So I use Constant Contact, and we've got a training course coming up on that actually in June, I believe. There's also One Shopping Cart, which is great, a little bit more complicated than Constant Contact and certainly a lot more expensive, but very good. Again, Infusionsoft, fantastic, one step up from One Shopping Cart. And then MailChimp, very similar to Constant Contact. So very, simple, easy to use solutions there for you if you don't actually want to go whole hog and buy a CRM database. And remember, we talked about this last month in the webinar, that you have to touch a client or contact 7 times. They have to hear your message 7 times before they're even aware of you, before they'll go out and buy from you. So without a CRM database, how are you going to contact all those contact cards, those business cards that you have 7 times, and know what you've said to each one and where you are with each one and what's going on with each one? Your brain is going to absolutely explode. Do yourself a favor, work smarter rather than harder, give it up, and yes, it's going to take you some time to populate the CRM database to get the information, but it's going to save you so much time in the future. Honestly, take my word for it. So your mind's probably exploding. I'm giving you lots of information. Just giving you information, as you know, is not enough. You've got to do something with it. Knowledge alone is useless without action. And so you may be feeling overwhelmed and thinking, I won't do anything. That inertia of too much information, I'm just going to stand still. So here we are again. These are 3 simple steps that I would advocate that you start to take next. Number 1. Get your house in order. So understand what information that you currently store. Where is all the data that you currently store? Get it all together. Gather the data, look at how your processes work, document it, and think, what do I need to collate and how am I going to use it for the future? So don't just work in today. Don't just be reactive and firefighting. Take the opportunity to sit down and think, right, what am I going to do for the future? And I know it's going to scare you to not be active for 1 or 2 days. I know that, but I can assure you it's going to pay dividends for the amount of returns you're going to get on it in the future. And then just at the moment, just use Excel or Access to store the information. Just get it in one place. Because the great thing about that, you can export Excel into another CRM database. It is really, really exportable. So at the very least, your efforts will not be wasted if you stick it in an Excel spreadsheet rather than keeping it in a paper-based format storage system with business cards just piled up on your desk or in a roller desk. It's no good to anybody in that format, certainly not good for your headspace. And let's go through the 10 reasons then to close why you need to buy a CRM right now. Right now, ladies. Don't go buy a CRM right now. Why you need to use one. So number 1, it will help you generate more leads because you'll understand who your target audience is. You'll understand why people are buying, and then you'll be able to work on your pipeline and find out, right, who's inquired, what am I doing with it, which point am I at, who do I need to contact next, what's my action list, etc., etc. All at a touch of a button without you trying to overthink it. You'll be able to identify and qualify your prospects faster. So again, you'll be able to understand the needs and wants because you'll be storing that information when it comes in. Of course, you'll be able to close more sales because you'll understand again who's bought from you, why they bought from you in the past, and then use that information on closing more sales from new leads coming through. We talked about it earlier that the order value will increase because you'll be able to upsell or cross-sell to them because you'll know their needs inside and out. You'll know that they're running out so that they are going to buy more from you. You're going to increase the frequency of your purchases with this. You'll be able to preempt who's running out or who's coming to an end or who's going to need a bit more of what you've got, and you will be in touch with them before that happens so that you are the first person there ready to have that sale before your competitors. And of course you'll improve your brand value because they will really respect that you're interested in their needs and their wants. They're going to love, love, love you. And of course if they love you, they'll tell everybody else about you. Fantastic. And you know, Facebook, Twitter, etc., great places for people to be having conversations about you and doing great things for them. So watch out for that. 7th reason why you need a CRM right now, is because you can measure the success of your marketing campaigns. So no longer do you need to just be throwing money after money, hoping that your marketing is going to be successful. You'll be able to measure it. You'll see who has contacted you on the back of a certain marketing campaign because you've logged it. And you won't have to remember where they came from because it'll be logged. You'll be able to improve your customer loyalty, as I said, because they're going to love you for looking after them. And we all know that keeping a customer is so much cheaper than getting a new one. Your speed and efficiency of dealing with inquiries, dealing with new customers, dealing with existing customers, your whole way of working is just going to speed up and become so slick and so efficient that you're naturally going to generate more money. And naturally, you're going to improve profitability because you'll be working smarter rather than harder. And this is what Like-Minded Women is all about. I know you're time poor. I know I'm asking you to put in a lot of time and effort understanding what you need to start a CRM database. I know that it's going to take you a lot of time to put the information into the database, but you haven't got to do that. Subcontract it out. We've got loads of Like-Minded Women members who are virtual assistants. Use them. And I know you might think, oh, I can't afford to use them, but can you afford not to? You could be out getting sales. Give it to somebody else, get it done, and get on with it. Just get on with it. I know it's going to cause a lot of pain in the short term, but long term, I can assure you the rewards will come just reaping in. You'll love them. You know, I wouldn't ask you to do anything if I thought it's going to harm your business. And you don't have to do this. I'm not saying, you know, you have to do it. 100% is going to improve your business because, again, garbage in, garbage out. You need good quality data. You need a plan of what you're going to do with it. And, of course, you've got to have a product or service that people want. So if you're trying to sell sand to the Arabs, then, you know, you're not going to see a major return on your investment by buying a CRM database. But if you've already got some clients coming in, you know you could deal with more, then this is the way to go. So that's it, folks. I can't believe the time has flown by so quickly. I haven't seen any questions come through, so I'm sure you're not that au fait with it just yet. If you do have any questions, just click on the question button, and then I will see them. I'm not going to open the mic unless anybody, you know, raises their hand or they write the question down for me to answer. I won't embarrass you this time. So we're going to leave it there unless anything comes through in the next few minutes. Thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate you spending the evening with me, or a little part of your evening. Hope you found it useful. This will, as I say, be uploaded to the forum, the Like-Minded Women forum. It'll be in the training section, so please go and visit it and play it back as many times as you like. Good luck with everything, and let me know how you get on. Thank you. Bye-bye.